Hi guys, welcome to People Talk Now. I'm your host, Vanessa Herrera, and this is episode 1 of many to come. And I'm super excited to have you guys here with me tonight, or today, depending on when you listen to this podcast. But I'm really excited and I'm grateful and thankful to have you guys all here. And just as a disclosure, okay guys, come on. We gotta stop this. So just as a disclosure, there's going to be a broad amount of topics discussed here on this show. And one of the many things that I told myself I was going to pride myself on doing was actually just kind of have I wanted it to be was a lot about the people and what you guys ask for. So on that note, my slogan for this podcast will be you ask about it and we talk about it. Let's change the pace on what we call better days. And the reason why I like that is because I think it's important that to change things, to change this world in general, it's important that we communicate on the needs and the wants of people, especially when we can come together and change things, Excuse me, you guys, I got a little glass of apple Jim Beam here. Let's take a little sip, take the edge off. God, I haven't had a little kick to it. So when I asked you guys what were some of the topics that you guys wanted me to discuss when I was first kind of talking about creating this podcast, a lot of you said that you wanted to talk about the topic of letting go, ways to help our community, sex and marriage, balancing mom life and wife life. A lot of you said anything on transitioning to a vegan or a whole plant-based diet. And I will talk about a lot of those things. But first, before I get into my topic of today, I'm going to talk to you about why I finally decided to start this podcast. So first off, starting this podcast is just really important to me. And one of the reasons why it's important to me is because I've always felt like I've had a lot to say. And I've always felt like my voice was needed to be heard. And I don't mean not just by just the typical people that hear me every day. I just feel it deep down. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm meant to get messages out there to people. I need to be the sender, And it just was on the back burner for so long, and I'm just it can't wait anymore. It just has to be done. I got to get started on this. And so I started doing my research. I was like, how do I get it done? But between going to school, mom life, wife life, gym life, all of that stuff, I'm just shit, man, how the fuck am I going to get all this done? How do you balance that? How do you get that in there? And I'm just I need this outlet. I need to be able to tell people what the fuck is going on. And I don't know if a lot of you know, but I'm actually majoring to be a journalism student. And this is kind of part of it too. I was just yo, you need the experience. And I enjoy talking to people. And more than anything, I love interviewing people, but just being able to be behind the mic and just kind of make a connection with people and have people say, hey, what's up, Vanessa? Look, this is what I got going on right now. You got any advice on that? And if I can, and even if I can't, that's just the type of person I am. Even if I can't, I will find somebody that can help you, you know? And that's the thing, because when people reach out to you for advice or on ways to change things, like, I want to be that person that's there for people, you know? And I'm not fucking Gumby or anything. And shit, I don't even know if, and you know, some of you know who the hell Gumby is, because sometimes I forget how old I am. But anyways, like, that's like kind of like my take on it, is that I just want to really be able to connect, like really connect with people, and just kind of show people like the raw and the real side of me and what I'm capable of doing, and the changes that we can make together when we talk about stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if people come to me and they're like, yo, Vanessa, I really want you to kind of bring this topic up. You know, this is something that's not being discussed out there. I don't really care how uncomfortable it is to people out there. Like, if it helps somebody out there cope with something, then that's it right there. Like, that's the money. So, without further ado, since it's kind of one of my daily, like, rituals, my daily life, my daily routine, it's a part of me. And I have a lot of people that follow me on Instagram, and, you know, and they're just like, hey, like, always constantly asking me for advice. And it's crazy, man. Like, if you're listening, you never know when you can actually make some sort of impact in somebody's life. Don't ever doubt yourself in that way. Like, don't think because you don't have an X amount of following, or like you don't have this title of being an influencer, like you couldn't possibly change somebody's life, because that's not true. Like, this whole filter that's been put on this type of, like, that type of lifestyle, it's complete horseshit, if you ask me. And on that note, I just want to say, like, it's very possible to change somebody's life with just words, like words alone. Like, you don't need to be there physically touching somebody. Like, you can change somebody's life. So people are always asking me, like, hey, like, how do you transition from like a plant-based diet? Like, how do you transition into that? And I'm not going to lie, it's not easy at first. It's not. It's like, you can't just like jump into it from one day to the next, unless it's like super life-threatening and you're just like, shit, like, I got to change this. Like, I got to change this now, or else I'm like going to get type 2 diabetes or some shit like that. So when I think about when I first decided that I was going to transition into being vegan, it's like the funniest story. And whenever I tell people, I kind of laugh. Like, no matter what, I always laugh, because I can't even believe, like, that's how it actually went down. It's like hard to believe. So almost like 5 years ago, you know, I it's kind of just thinking about it right now. It's fucking hilarious. So my husband actually had went vegan first. And like one day he comes to me and he's just like, babe, you know, like, I can't do it anymore. Like, it was something, like, it was like an emotional trigger. You know, he's just like, I can't do it anymore. I can't eat this way anymore. Like, I just can't, like, I can't explain it to you. But even though he's like, I can't explain it to you, he did explain it to me as much as he could. And I'm just looking at him like, he's fucking crazy, man. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, fuck you mean we're not going to eat meat anymore, you know? And it's like, you know, we grow up being told, like, this is just the way it is. Like, you know, your mom and your dad, they cook you stuff. You don't question it. You just eat it, you know? And so when he's coming to me and he's telling me this, I'm just kind of like, all right, well, you know, I'm not going to lie. I was a bit shocked at first. I was like, fuck, like, what the fuck do I do? Because I'm the person that cooks for my family. So in a sense, you know, I'm just like, what am I going to do? Like, what is he going to eat? Leaves? What do I cook for him? Like, I'm just like taken aback from it, because I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I know, like, maybe some of you would say, like, well, it's it's how hard could it have been? Like, no, it was really difficult because, at first it was like, I wasn't vegan. He was vegan. He was vegan before me, and he transitioned. And he's just like, oh, I'll eat vegetables or rice, whatever I have to. Like, I don't really know. And, so I was doing what I could for him, like the bare minimum. I was just like, all right, well, I guess he's going to eat vegetables and rice. Like, what else can you do? Like, let me make him veggies and rice. That's the easy way, right? And, after that, like a week or so went by, and I was just really thinking about it. I'm like, damn, like I'm over here making him vegetables and rice, and I'm over here making food like regular food for myself. Like that's how I labeled it. Like I'm making still meat and things, and it just was odd, like cooking that in a certain manner for him, and then cooking a certain way for myself or for my kids, And then that week later, he's at work and I was at home, and I remember it like it was yesterday. So I was eating a turkey sandwich or a ham sandwich. I can't remember which it was. I don't know if it was like turkey or ham, but I think it might have been ham. And so, I'm sitting there and I'm like preparing it. Like I'm like kind of excited. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna eat the shit out of this sandwich. That's what I'm thinking, like I'm gonna fucking throw down on this shit. And I bit into it and I don't know what happened, you guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know what happened in that instant. It's like something inside of me just woke up. And when I bit into the sandwich, as fucking crazy as it sounds, I started to fucking cry. And I have like the fucking piece of the sandwich that I just bit into, and I'm full blown fucking crying. And I'm just like trying to ask myself, like, why the fuck am I crying right now? Like, this fucking sandwich should be good. But something about it didn't feel right to me no more. Like, something inside me started hurting, like emotionally. And so what do? I spit the sandwich out, I fucking throw it in the trash, and I call my husband, and he's at work. And I'm just like, baby, oh my God. Sob story, like just crying. And he picks up the phone and he's just like, what's wrong? Like he thinks like someone fucking popped me or something, or I don't know. Probably thinking the worst. He's like, what the fuck, And I'm just telling him, I'm like, you know what? Like, I can't do this anymore. And he's like, you can't do what? What the hell are you talking about, woman? You sound crazy as shit. And I'm just like, I can't do it anymore. I can't eat animals. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm a hypocrite. And he's like, why are you a hypocrite? And I'm like, well, because all my life, I've been telling people that I love them. And like, I adore animals and like, I respect them. And here I'm fucking eating them. So I'm like, I'm a hypocrite. And from that point on, like the next day, or it might have been the same fucking day, like I literally go into our refrigerator and I just made that decision. I was just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, if I'm not going to eat animal products, my kids are not going to eat animal products anymore. And I fucking went into my fridge, and I, obviously after having looked up what are things to look for. So, I go online and I just start looking up stuff. I start looking up like what you shouldn't have, what things that are in foods and condiments, like what shouldn't we be consuming. And so once I did that, I go into my fridge and I'm just like, boom, throw away eggs. I'm throwing away fucking milk, anything really, anything that was like from animals. And I fucking threw it in the trash. Like my refrigerator looked brand fucking spanking new from the inside, because everything that I felt didn't belong there wasn't there no more. And I felt this weight just come off of my fucking shoulders. Like it was just like I had made a fucking great decision for my life. Like it was a good decision. And, it wasn't shortly till after that Like I was always suffering from stomach pains and all this stuff was always affecting me. And it didn't take very long for me to start noticing the differences in my body. Started fucking getting up out of bed faster. I had less aches and pains, or no more stomach issues, no more constipation, and all this shit that happens, And at first, I didn't really know what to make. I was just like, fuck, what the fuck do vegan people eat? Like, I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And, I did whatever I feel like anybody in, that time, or, that has access to the internet could do. I went online and I started researching articles. I started watching documentaries. I started getting myself really informed, like saying, fuck this. If I'm going to go into this, not only am I going to go into this with like conviction and certain of how I feel, but I'm actually going to go into this fully informed. So I started doing my research, and, I went the whole 9 yards. Like, you guys should have seen, like, I even, got a letter package from PETA, and, like, what are things, household products that you can buy or not buy, or what you should get rid of that's toxic for your house. And it was really insane, you guys, like the level of commitment that I dove into right away. And, at first it wasn't easy because I didn't really know how to make things be similar to taste like meat, because I don't know what it is. Like when you first transition from eating meat to like going vegan, for some reason it just seems a little difficult at first, and it's not for everybody. Again, everyone's different. Some people can go from one thing to the next, cold turkey from one day to the other. For me, it was like I still needed that consistency in things, and it was difficult. So I started kind of turning to buying processed foods. And I feel like some people, especially if you've gone like vegan in this past 5 years or so, like it's like a common thing. Like you just kind of turn to processed foods first, like all the junk vegan food first. You're like, what? Fucking Oreos are vegan? Fuck yeah, man. I'm fucking about to eat all the whole goddamn box. Little things like that. But once you start kind of getting more informed and you just like go online, especially me, man, like I was fucking eager. Like, I wasn't like, I'm not about to take this shit lying down. I'm about to go and, start looking at recipes, and I failed many times at shit before I fucking finally got it right, Like I try to make stuff and it just fucking came out terrible. And I remember at first I went to this place. I think it's in Glendale. And I went with my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law, and I think my daughter was with me that day. And, the place is really, it's cute. It's very chic, very trendy little spot. But the food is like expensive, I think it was called Claire's or some shit like that. And, I sit down, and this is my first time, like, mind you, I've been vegan for a while, but this was one of my first times actually trying tofu scramble. It's like a big thing in the vegan community. And I try it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, this shit, like, I thought somebody was fucking, like, pranking me. And I'm like, this shit tastes like scrambled eggs. And I felt like a fucking sinner. But you know what? Like, they're like, no, this is tofu scramble. This is, like, cutting edge, man. It's fucking cutting edge. No, they didn't say that, but it felt like that. So I try it, and I'm just like, wow, this is really good. And I tell my sister-in-law, I'm like, you know what, man? Watch. I'm going to learn how to fucking make this shit better than they do. And I tried. I kept trying, and it just wasn't tasting right. I'm like, fuck, what am I doing wrong, man? What the fuck am I doing wrong? And I couldn't figure it out. Like I said, it took a lot of times for me failing stuff, like kind of trying it out. But I had this eagerness, and I knew that I didn't want to go back. I knew that I didn't want to feel the way I felt anymore. And when you become vegan, or I'm sorry, like, can we stop saying that shit? Can we just like say when you just become a vegetable eater? Yeah, like I knew that this is what I wanted. Like you just know, like I'm going to use it in an analogy. Like, this is how you know. So when you basically say to yourself, it's kind of like when you dump that one fucking boyfriend or that girlfriend, right? Like, you're dating someone and you're just like, I had enough of these motherfuckers. Like, y'all gots to fucking go. Like, when you have that feeling and you turn back and you're just like, I don't feel nothing. Like, I don't feel shit anymore for you. And you don't feel bad. Like, there's no hurt. You don't feel like remorse. You're like, damn, I don't feel bad about anything. Like, I feel kind of good. That's how it feels, how it should feel if you're ready to transition to the dark side. That's how it should feel. Like, you should feel confident. It shouldn't be like, oh, I don't think I can live without this. Or I don't know. You're not ready. I don't think you're ready. But if you just feel the certainty where you're just like, fuck, I'm ready to feel healthy. I'm tired of feeling like shit. Like, I just want to feel fucking good, man. Like 24/7. That's when you know you're ready. And that's kind of how it is, you know. And eventually I'm probably like, you know, I'm not trying to knock anybody out there down, but I'm pretty sure I make some of the best fucking tofu scramble out there. You know, I wouldn't mind some competition coming my way. If I can, you know, get some of you people to come to the dark side. And, yeah. So that's kind of like the whole little spiel on it, like the little backstory. Fucking Jim Beam. He's a motherfucker. But yeah, listen, guys, like, some of you guys asked me, like, to kind of talk to you guys about the whole transition, you know, like, things that you can do. And I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to give you this, like, oh, well, it's the easiest fucking thing in the world. Or, yeah, go vegan. No. Like, no, fuck these motherfuckers. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you know, yes, I eat plant-based, and I'm proud of it, and I will fight for a fucking animal. Like, if I see a motherfucker that I know, and he's just like, yo, I'm gonna go fucking attack the shit out of that cow right now, I'd probably be real fucking gangster about it and go fight the motherfucker for the rights of the cow, you know? Like, that's how I feel about it, but that's my passion. And, like, you can't force that kind of passion on people, because if you don't feel that passion inside, then what the fuck is the point? Like, you're just wasting your goddamn life. And we have so much life to live. And based on just having so much life to live, we should know when it feels right to decide on something, you know? So I will say this. If you're listening to this and you're asking yourself, like, damn, I really am considering, like, I just want to eat better, or maybe you're doing it for your health, you know, or maybe you're doing it because you just love little baby piggies and little cows and little chicks and chickens and all animals, that's good for you. Fucking mad respect. But if you're doing it for your health, right, and you're just like, I don't really give a fuck about the animals, but I'm doing this for my health, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a valid reason. Becoming plant-based is just as valid a reason to become it, even if you were just like, I don't care about animals, but I just want to do it because I want to be healthier, and the doctor's telling me, like, you know, like, I'm not doing too good, or like, you just yourself, you feel it. That's as good as reason as any. But I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. For me, it started becoming really easy because I was determined. I was determined to learn, because that's just the type of background I have. I'm a fucking determined person. You put something in front of me, you tell me I can't do it, I'll fucking 10 times out of 10, I'll prove you wrong. But that's because I'm a determined individual. If you're determined to do it, my advice is that you surround yourself, you get informed, and you start surrounding yourself with like-minded people. You start surrounding yourself with people that are on the same journey. And it sounds cliche, but ask yourself, in your household, how many people are thinking the way you do. I'm very blessed now because, I have my husband who eats, he eats practically anything I make up, and I'm very grateful because he's always just like, he makes me feel like fucking Chef Boyardee. Call myself Chef Boyardee because for the V for Vanessa. But yes, I feel blessed because my family, my kids, like they're eating like this, and it's been so long since any of them have been sick. While everyone else has been getting sick, they've been just strong, and I feel blessed and I feel grateful that they're eating this way. And you have to think about the same thing. Like, you have to start surrounding yourself with people who want the same thing as you. Or now we're living an era where, you can go on Facebook, you can go on Instagram, you can go on Twitter, and you can start getting involved with communities, like virtual communities. You can go out and search for communities that are involved with what you want to be a part of. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It's not hard. Like, think about the value of who you are. Who you are as a person, like your value. So I really just kind of wanted to like bring that up, and for the people that ask me and the people that have been following me for a long time and like really listen to my guidance as far as like eating, like, I'm sure eventually one day when I have the time. Right now, my time is very like kind of just like fuck, like very like just school and being a wife, being a mom, fitness, just I'm so like, ugh. I'm stretching myself to the maximum, but I'm happy. There's a difference between people that are just being tugged and pulled every goddamn where, but they're just unhappy. And I think the important thing is, if you woke up today and you're just like, shit, I took a breath, like I'm alive, like, fuck yeah. Like, think about that for a split second. Like, that's pretty fucking remarkable. Like, don't go to any other thoughts like, oh shit, I'm gonna be late, or oh fuck, what did I blah blah blah. Like, no, stop, calm the fuck down, and take a deep breath and say, damn, like, I'm here another day. And I really want to thank you guys for just being supportive and for really just like getting involved and tell me of things that you wanted to hear on this podcast. And I'm really excited to kind of put more and more out there, and I'm just really excited for this journey ahead. And like I said, this is the first episode of many to come. And I'm really grateful for you guys being here and, listening to me on your drive to work or your drive to school or to the gym, or, whether you're listening at home. Like, I'm just grateful for you guys. And I'm really appreciative of this opportunity that's ahead of me. And, thank you for listening to People Talk Now. And I'm your host, Vanessa Herrera. And again, you ask about it and I'll talk about it. So if there's any more topics, things that you can think of that you just are like, yo, Vanessa, I need People Talk Now to discuss this. Like, this, not enough people talking about this. Even as uncomfortable as it is, I will talk about it. And you can find me. I'll be posting this on YouTube. If you're a YouTube listener, you can go to YouTube, People Talk Now. I will also have an Instagram of People Talk Now, posting like little behind the scene clips from time to time. But I will leave Instagram as like, as a platform for you guys to kind of reach out to me. You guys have my personal account, but People Talk Now on Instagram will be more of a, like, if you guys want to kind of say, hey, I'm reaching out to you because I think this is a good topic that you should kind of talk about. Hey, reach out, send me a message. And if you want to like personally, on a more personal level, reach out to my email, peopletalknow@hotmail.com. I'll be glad to take any questions that you have on, more broad discussions. And yeah, this has been a real slice. It's been a real slice, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Like, thank you so much. Until next time, yeah, I guess there's nothing else to say. So I'm going to leave you guys with that thought. Just remember, yeah, man, get informed. And just remember that you're beautiful, man. If no one's told you that today, you are worthy and you are special. All right? So, People Talk Now, over and out. All right? Have a beautiful day, beautiful evening. And I'll talk to you guys next time.